rolling. So my name is Ken Morton. I'm the Director of Campus Recreation here at SFA. And I want to welcome you again. You've probably already been welcomed by a number of people already, but I want to welcome you again to your first year at SFA. We're looking forward to having you virtually here, but also at some point having you physically here. So thanks for joining us on the call today. You know, I'm going to be talking about not campus recreation particularly. I'm going to be talking about wellness in particular. So we use the term here, wellness and well-being, kind of interchangeably. And so I'm going to start with a little poll and say, you're going to answer this: what is wellness? So I'm going to give you like 10 seconds to answer. Maybe I'll give you more than that because you got to read them, but. It is not a hard poll. There's no grades given out on this one, I'm telling you. Getting in polling pretty quick, and bam. So most of you got that right. I didn't make it really difficult. I like the people who were confident that I was going to tell you either way. So wellness is that. So I'm going to, when I get to my share screen, we're going to do that, and I'll talk you through that. But we're going to keep things a little bit going as we do. So I'm going to hit my share screen. So unfortunately, I don't get to see everybody until I'll scroll through everything, but that is not the screen I wanted to share, right? So you should be able to see the PowerPoint presentation. And to see how well you'll be able to see that, I'm going to move to this. I don't know if you've ever annotated before, but whether you're using your phone or a computer or a laptop, it's all going to have different features on it. But if you go to the green screen at the top of your screen, there's a little pull down menu, and one of the things says annotate. And then you've got different functions. And I want you to go to the stamp function and collect and figure out a stamp, and then stamp where you're located right now. We're going to see where people are from, where they're at right now. I got some folks down in the Houston area, maybe. Mostly East Texas, though. Some Dallas, Fort Worth. Somebody's got the arrow. Are you saying you're way the heck out of town? Is that what it means? You're in like California, whoever that is? Well, I got another one with the arrow going way out.
No, I did not mean to do that.
All you have to do to clears is go to the trash can up there, and it says clear my drawings. Boom. So we have some people over here in the blue. Is that saying you're from Louisiana? Is that right? Who are my blue arrows over here? Spain. Fantastic. Well, thanks for joining us virtually. You can also use the text feature. You can see that, so people have learned that already. There's drawing features, there's text features, and all kinds of cool stuff. So fantastic. So we've got a lot down in the Houston area. Anybody from Baytown? I'm sorry if you are. I grew up there. So down in the Houston area. All right. I'm going to stop doing that. We're going to clear all that out. Boom. And start in this. Oh, here we go. So I did tell you that wellness is the ongoing process of making healthy choices to maintain balance in all dimensions of life. It's pretty simple. Easy way to do that. This is our wellness model right here at SFA. So you've got wellness models all over the place. Lots of different schools have them. Lots of different places have them. Ours incorporates a lot of well-being into our just wellness model. And this was the one that we wanted to get. When I first got here to SFA, we had, you know, some people in one part of the campus were using a different model. People in SGA were using one. So the student affairs was using a different one. The kinesiology people were using a different model. And so we got all of those people together and came up with what we wanted it to mean with that. So we're going to cover that because truly what's really important is that, you know, wellness and well-being and your personal well-being is one of the most important things you can do to ensure you're going to be successful in college. That is going to help you be successful in your academic career. It's going to help you retain here. It's going to help you have a good time while you're doing that. It's going to help you with your friends. It helps in all aspects of life, right? So there's lots of different components in that. We want you to be aware of those different components that are a part of that and making it important with that. This is a time when, if you are coming to campus, wherever you're going to be, most of you are going to be virtually and doing that maybe from home still, but you're still going to be starting to take on the role of taking control of more of your own well-being than maybe you have in the past, right? And so decisions that maybe mom and dad made or somebody else made for you or teachers made or somebody else made for you, you're going to be now in charge of doing that for yourself. And so that's why we want to really kind of talk to you about well-being and its importance with that. And then know that that definition says it's an ongoing process. You're going to continue to grow. You're going to keep learning and achieving balance throughout life. You never get done with this wellness journey kind of thing. So our model looks like this. So we've got 7 dimensions in our model. We think it encompasses lots of different ones. You'll see other models that have 3 dimensions or 4 dimensions or 8 dimensions or 10 dimensions or whatever, but ours is this one. We think we did a pretty good job with getting everybody involved with that. So let's kind of kick it off. We'll get through this. So we're going to start with intellectual health, right? So that's why you're here. And we're talking about developing and utilizing one's knowledge with that. And so when we're talking about intellectual health, we're talking about a wide breadth of things. So not just lifelong learning and your studies, what your educational goals and your professional goals, but just your awareness of current events, your creativity, your adaptation to change, things like service learning are all part in that intellectual health bubble. And so using the chat feature, I think you can still get on there. Talk about, just somebody throw out some ideas of what are some skills or some actions you could do over the next year that are going to improve in your intellectual health, are going to help have a positive impact on that. I don't know if I can even see the chat feature anymore. If I stop share, boom, I can see the chat feature that way and see you guys. So meditation, writing, healthy foods, all of those are great things in wellness. Different areas of that, asking questions, studying, eating well and studying, all those are great answers. Yes, fantastic. So I'm going to go back to screen share real quick. Boom. So what I mean when we're talking about some of the actions you can take in the area of intellectual health, is reading for fun. Again, some of y'all said some of those things. Learning a foreign language, musical instrument, writing down your thoughts in a journal. Being open-minded is a huge one, right? So you're going to be in another area that you're going to be exposed to different people from all over the world. Like we had somebody from Spain on the call, right? That's fantastic. But we've got international students. We've got students from all backgrounds of life that are going to be part of your college experience right now. So you've got a great chance to expand your horizons, be open-minded, learn about other people's experiences and what they bring to the table and see things from their perspectives. So it's a great time to really kind of expose yourself to new ideas, new people, new beliefs, things that are different from what you may have learned or grew up with or know from your smaller setting. So that's a great chance to do that. So intellectual health, we're going to move to physical health, and this is the area that most people think about when they hear the term wellness or well-being. But I'm trying to help you explain that it's more than just that, but certainly physical is a big part of that. What we do at Campus Rec is a large part of it, but so are lots of other offices here on campus. So things like regular physical activity, medical awareness and disease prevention, dietary intake and adequate sleep and safe habits and choice-making behavior. All of those are good. When we talk about safe habits, we're talking about things, like that. So we're going to have the Run with Scissors Marathon going on here at Campus Rec later on. So what are some actions you can take besides just the ones, again, use the chat box. I'm throwing some up here, but maybe use the chat box to figure out what are some other ones besides what I've written on there. One of the things that you should be aware of that we have a campus dietitian. They're housed over here in Campus Rec, but you can access them virtually too. She will set up a call and do something with you virtually. So by the fact that you are a student here and you're paying your tuition and everything, you have access to a campus dietitian, registered dietitian that can help you out with any of your concerns about that, whether it's that you want to eat healthier, if you want to lose weight or gain weight, if you want, work with how to, if you've got diabetes, a problem with diabetes, she can help you come up with a dietary plan that'll help you with that, right? So that's a part of it. Functional sleep schedule. You know, college is a weird time. You're doing lots of stuff. You're staying up late sometimes, and there's, you know, you've got to figure out how to stick to some kind of a sleep schedule. Get to a regular exercise routine is going to be important, whether you're doing that, you know, at home at your place or whether you're doing that on campus, wherever you happen to be. Starting to develop some of those habits that are going to stay with you for the rest of your life are important, because we do a lot with. Exercise has a good place when we're going to talk about some of the other things when it talks about emotional health and some other things too. But exercise has been actually proven to help you be smarter. It helps you learn more. So if you're having trouble studying, exercising actually helps that, right? It makes the synapses in your brain work better so that you can retain the information better before you have to take a test. So it's a great way to do that. But things like medications and staying aware of medical attention and when it's needed, all of those fall under that physical health, right? And the actions you can take to help take care of that. So career financial, this is one of our other dimensions of wellness, right? What we mean by career financial is engaging in meaningful work and responsible monetary practices. So hopefully you're here, right, to get a better job eventually, but one that's a rewarding career, right? So you're here to get a degree, but I hope that you take the chance to get more than just your degree. I hope you take the chance to get an education. And those two things are different to me, right? So one is you've done all the requirements classwork to get your physical degree, that piece of paper, but the other is that you're getting an education. It means you take every opportunity to learn. Joining a club or organization, being a part of them, you know, going and doing an internship somewhere, doing lots of what you're going to have a job probably at some point, right? How many of you, in fact, I've got another poll for you. I'm going to stop sharing my screen real quick so that I can do one more poll. So how many people are going to need to have a job while you're in college? Bam. All right, everybody got in there? All right, at least a few people got the reference to the other guy's movie, but the rest of you, I'm hoping that you are going to have a job at some point, right? So, and it's not because just if you need to pay bills, right? You're going to have a job, hopefully, so that you can learn start developing some of those skills. There's lots of on-campus jobs across campus, right? We have 200 people that work for us here at Campus Recreation. And my job is to help them make sure they're getting the skills they need to go, once they graduate, to get a good job, right? So most of them aren't going to go into owning a gym when they leave here. They're you know, accounting majors and business majors and education majors. And so, but we help them get a job better because they're going to get the skills while we're doing that. We're helping them develop their soft skills that are going to be really transferable to wherever you're going to do. And so does people when you're working at Res Life. So does if you're working at the library, right? There's a lot of on-campus jobs that'll help you with that. So we're doing that. So I'm having a tough time keeping track of the chat that's going on. So, but I'll keep track of that as I can. Here we go. I'm going to share the screen again. So again, some of the actions you can take while you're doing that is, again, don't put off and identifying what, you know, some financial issues are going to be. Start working on those before you do it. We have this great other department on campus called the Center for Career and Professional Development. Their whole job is to help you develop you while you're in college and to help you get a job once you do leave college. And so you want to start taking advantage of them now, not wait till you're a senior, it's your last semester and you're graduating. It's too late to really take advantage of their services then, right? They can help you build your resume now and help you start developing and tweaking your resume as you go. Every single year, you should be looking at that and adding new things to it. What are the skills that I have? What are the resources that I have? They can help you get a job. They do virtual, this year they're going to do some virtual job fairs. But they have, internships and things like that you can get all over the place. So taking advantage of them is really great. You should start working now to build your resume and looking at those transferable skills, whatever job it has to be that you're doing, right? Take advantage of student discounts, and develop a budget. It's going to be important that you start learning that. Maybe you've never had to have a budget, a personal budget before, but now is a great time to start developing those habits and doing that. All right, so I'm going to stop share real quick. Boom. All right, so for this activity, I know some of you look, I'll call them, Avery's just looking all like in her onesie there. Looks like you're wearing one of those cool things. But so what I want you to do right now is I want you to, so we're going to stretch a little bit. So if you were able, those of you in a car, Jocelyn may not be able to do that, but you can just virtually do it, raising your hands, right? So if you like to eat sushi, stand up, boom. How many people like to eat sushi? Stand, wave your hands up, right? Get some movement going, right? We're going to get some blood flowing again. I'm a big believer that you can, your brain can only absorb what your butt can endure. So we're going to do that. So if you like to hike, stand up, boom. Hikers, get up. Thank you. A lot of you aren't doing that. All right. If you're a hugger, stand up. Morgan's like, I'm a hugger. Yes, if you're a hugger, stand up. COVID's a tough time. Now, if you're not a hugger, stand up. People are not huggers. There you go. Gabby's a definite not hugger. She's like, nope, stay away from me. She is Bree. All right. If you have worn pajamas to a virtual meeting, stand up. All right. We thought we lost you out of the car there, Mia. I don't know what happened. All right, we're good. Everybody's back. We got it. So going back to sharing the screen real quick. Our next dimension we're going to talk about is emotional. This one's hugely important for us, right? When you look at the list of the breadth of things we're talking about in emotional health, the definition is awareness, acceptance, and healthy expression of one's feelings, but that comes across in lots of different ways, right? You've got everything from intimacy and interdependence as well as independence, which are on opposite spectrum, ends of the spectrum there, right? Expression of emotions, stress management, your positive outlook and attitude on life, coping and communication skills. We're being taxed with our coping skills right now, right? In what we're having to deal with, and lots of different ways, lots of new ways to learn how to teach, lots of new ways to learn how to offer programs, lots of new ways to learn how to actually learn as what you're doing now. Everything like assertiveness and healthy boundaries, choosing your reaction to life. That's one of my favorite ones, is choosing your reaction to life. One of the guys that I really respect a lot in his work is Viktor Frankl. And that's one of the things that he talks about is when you're no longer able to change a situation, you're challenged to change yourself. And so learning how to deal with those things in a positive way is important. So important that for stress management, right? That I want you to use the chat feature to talk about some ways to positively deal with stress, because college is going to be stressful, right? You're going to have late nights. You're going to have to choose between going to a party and writing your term paper, like a 10-page paper that's due tomorrow. You're going to have to choose between, what to do. There's a lot of stressful situations about college, and this whole COVID stuff didn't make it any less stressful, right? It made it more stressful. So what are positive things you can do to deal with stress? Jay, tell me what some of the people are writing on there, because you can see the chat feature.
Yeah, totally. It's like flying on my screen. But so I see singing, listening to music, exercise, take a nap, meditation. Oh, I like that one. Someone said call mom or dad, dance alone in your room. We love dance parties. Friends, go for a walk, get out, get some air. That's also really important.
Awesome.
working out, journaling.
All those are great, right? All of those are really good answers. So thank you for joining that. So what we mean by emotional health, we talked about what the thing was there, the definition. Here's what we mean by some of the actions, right? So healthy and fulfilling relationships with others, psychological well-being. We have this other great office on campus, right, called the Counseling Center. So by virtue of you being a student with us now, you have access to free counseling, right? So we have a great group of people over there. They do virtual counseling, so that is something you can do virtually too, but they do individual counseling, they do group counseling sessions. It's a great way, so if you can't deal with it with your friends and family, aren't enough for you to maybe have the resources you need to deal with that, Counseling Center is a great place for you here. But know that stress is inevitable. So I want you to go ahead to annotate your screen right now and select, I want you to type your name. You can use the text box or you can just write it with the tool. I want you to type your name beside one of these things. That is a way that you want to deal with stress. So I just typed my name on there, bam, by the koosh ball. What of one of these things reminds you of something that is a positive way that you like to deal with stress? So these are all great. You guys have all done things. These are all stress balls, by the way. But you know, I put myself on the one with the koosh ball, which is just stretchy, because it just reminding myself to be flexible about things, right? Just not to get so rigid about any one way of doing something that I'm not open to do it in a different way. Skylar, why did you choose the brain? Unmute, Skylar, so you can do that. Tell me why you chose the brain.
I chose the brain because I put listening to music and the music stimulates the brain.
Fantastic. Nice job. Jacob, you put the money sign was yours. How are you releasing stress through your money sign? What does that mean for you? We're not hearing from Jacob. Ariana, same thing. That was an interesting one to choose. Why did you choose that?
Because money is like one of the biggest problems. So I'd rather not stress out and keep making money because money is really a big stress in college.
Yeah, money is a big stressor a lot of times. So you're saying it, just making sure you're doing what you need to do to keep. So that was where we're talking about that career and financial one, making sure you know your budget, right? So having your job and know your budget, because that way if you're stay on top of it, pay your bills first, and you can not be stressed about it later on. So it's a great answer with that. Looks like a lot of people chose maybe exercise is one of those, which is fantastic. Some people chose laughter. And then a number of people chose what looks like coffee. So I'm not going to say that that's a positive way to deal with it, but certainly is another way too. So I'm going to talk about some other ways that you have on here. So if you look at, I got to clear the screen, don't I? Bam. So having an outlet, so that could be hobbies, it could be doing, sports, it could be exercise, it could be lots of different things, right? Aromatherapy, laughing, making time to just get away from everything, right? Breathing techniques and meditation is really great for that. Eating better foods. The food you eat has a big impact on your stress level, right? Learning to say yes or learning to say no at times is important. Like there's times we need to tell people, no, I can't go do that because I have to do this. Nacogdoches Animal Shelter, we put that on there because you can volunteer anytime to go help be one of the people that goes and plays with the dogs or goes and walks the dogs or plays with the puppies out there, right? So that's one of the things we think is important with that. So emotional health is huge. I put this on the screen because that's my dog. I came home one day and this is what I found. That is Mud. He does not normally have any brown on him, but so I had to make this decision. Am I going to yell at him and be mad? He's like, look at that face. He's like happy. Look, I brought the duck in too. But I had 2 hours worth of work to do to clean up after that, right? So I chose to laugh about it as opposed to getting mad about it. and post it on Facebook and go, yeah, this is my dog. So there you go. So you always have a choice about how you're going to deal with stress. And that's one of the things we want to deal with in a positive way. So our next dimension is spiritual. And when we talk about spiritual, we're not necessarily talking about religion. We're talking about exploring value and meanings in one's life. It could be your belief system, right? But it could be your ethics and values. It could be, hope and optimism, your purpose. Why are you here? Why are you coming to studying to get a degree? What's the whole point of that, right? Introspection and contemplation, life satisfaction, thinking beyond oneself. That's a huge one for us right now, right? So I have to wear my mask every day while I'm on campus. And I'm not doing that because it helps me. I'm doing it because it protects everybody else from me, right? So I'm thinking beyond oneself is an important part of that. Actions you can take for that. Again, we mentioned some about meditate or practice mindful relaxation. Search for a belief system if that's something that you connect with. We have a ton of campus organizations, right? Not only just for some of those other connections that we're going to talk about next, but we have a number of those that are religiously based. So you can find a group that fits that if that's what you're looking for, though. Taking time to think about who you are, practicing acceptance, making sure you're aware and have an attitude of gratitude, right? By virtue of the fact that you're coming to college right now, you are going to be in a different situation than 90% of the rest of the world, right? Because 90% of the rest of the world doesn't probably have a college degree by the time you're done with this, right? So you're putting yourself in a different situation. That's something to be really grateful for. Whatever circumstance it's been, you graduated high school and are in a position that you can now take college classes and be a part of the college experience. And that's a pretty cool thing. So your spiritual health, again, living purposefully. What is it that you're really trying to do? You trying to improve the world, or you trying to not improve the world? So it's all part of that. Our next one is sociocultural, and you don't see that term a lot. This is one that we talked about. Some of them you'll see social health a lot of times, but we also felt so cultural health is just as important. So effective relating to others, your community, and your world, right? And so we go from the small, like how you relate to the people you're interacting with all the time, your family and friends, to the people that you're interacting with on campus, or in your town, or in your community, you're that outside bigger world, and then the world itself. So things like respect for all cultures, and as well as satisfied interpersonal relationships, right? Those we're talking the broad, the macro, and the micro things, your family and friends, but also concepts like fairness and justice, tolerance and understanding, and acceptance of others, involvement in your community, citizenship. What does it mean to be a citizen, right? And so all of those things are in that socio-cultural health world. So again, use the chat feature to talk about some of the ways that you can, anything related to sociocultural health. What's something you could do over this next semester to talk about and improve your sociocultural health, right? Going to college, you're going to have a lot of opportunities to do that. So what are some of the things you could do? Where's one of my other orientation leaders? Jordan, right? Read some of those in the chat for me, please.
Volunteering, loving someone no matter who they are, making new friends, surrounding myself with good friends, understanding social contract theories. I like that one. Yeah. Taking a step back and reflect, get involved, respect everyone, being open-minded.
Awesome. Those are awesome. Thanks. Really, those are really all exactly good. We've got some of them listed here too. Get involved in multicultural events and service opportunities. But we also have, when we're talking about social cultural health, we've got, oh gosh, how many? Hundreds of student organizations, clubs and organizations here on campus, right? And you can be involved in those a lot of times virtually also, right? So some of those are academic related, so they'll work towards your professional development piece. Some of those are service oriented. Some of those are fraternities and sororities. Some of them are multicultural. So there's lots of ways to get involved and expand your circle of friends and your horizons on what you want to do with that, right? So gain new perspectives. Again, we talked about there's going to be a wide variety of people coming from different races, different ethnicities, different religious backgrounds, different parts of the world, whether you're urban and they're maybe rural, how they grew up. That's all everybody has a different perspective, right? Texas is huge. If you live in Texas, you could be out in the West Texas, or in the Panhandle, and you had a very different experience than growing up in the piney woods of East Texas, right? So All those perspectives lend you a different lens to look through, and being able to see people's ideas and hear their ideas and being open-minded about listening to what their perspective on something is really important as we're moving into different things. So it's a great chance to explore new places, new people, new experiences, new foods, even new different things, right? So know that all those things, and maintaining good communication with friends and family. What's going to be important about college years is it gives you an opportunity to meet new people and start making new friendships. But that doesn't mean you're going to get rid of all your old friends, right, you had in high school. Now, maybe they're going to a different school, and since you guys are doing this virtually for this semester, probably, maybe you're going to be able to stay in a little closer contact with them. But it's an opportunity to meet new people as well as stay in touch with some of those older ones, right? So I hope that you take advantage of all that. So our last one is of the 7 dimensions, environmental. And this is simply just caring for the earth, right? And you can do that through your personal choices, though, too. Protecting and enhancement of resources, creating safe and healthy environments is what we're talking about with that. Sustainable living. Some of those actions you could take, and you can also put some in the chat, but it's taking notes electronically, using a refillable water bottle, right? It's a simple thing you can do every day. I'm a big scuba diver, by the way, so I'm huge about the protecting the environment. I don't like seeing all the plastic when I go into the ocean and seeing sea turtles trying to munch on a stupid plastic bag because it looks like a lot like a jellyfish. And so, that one's kind of personal to me too, is making sure you're using reusable cloth bags instead of paper or plastic bags when you go shopping and things like that. It's just easy to have a positive impact on you, what you do, your personal choices, and how we do that. So again, this is our model. It has 7 dimensions. You're going to see it come up again. I don't know how many of you are in SFA 101s, but we'll be talking about that in SFA 101s. But the entire campus really uses this model to an extent, because again, we'll come back to the thing that wellness is a big part of what we're going to be talking about, and your personal wellness helps you be more successful while you're here. So what I want you to do, if you have the ability, if you're not driving, right now, if you can use your phone or use your computer and open up another window, whatever you want to do, but go to that website right there. You can actually go on right now and take a wellness assessment. It takes probably 5 minutes. And so we're going to do that because we're going to talk about it here in a second. But there's a series of questions you answer. Don't spend a lot of time agonizing over it. It's not that big a deal. You can retake this at any time. You can find it under the resources tab. We just put it on there this summer. There's a resources tab on your MySFA account. If you go to that, campus recreation is one of the boxes, and this assessment tool is on there. So you can retake it every month if you wanted. You can take it every semester or every year. It's really simple. But start looking at some of those questions and figuring out, it's going to give you an assessment that at the end will tell you, hey, maybe this is an area that you're doing good in these areas, but maybe this is an area you want to start doing some work in. And you can see where you're at. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes more to take that.
Can you explain where to find it through the MySFA or the SFA?
Yeah, go to MySFA and go to your resources tab. And under there, there's a box that says campus recreation. It has like 3 different things on there, and one of those is the assessment. You can also go to the campus recreation website and go to the fitness and wellness, and it's on there also. But if you just type in sfasu.edu/wellness-assessment, it'll pull right up. Anybody having trouble getting on there?
I had to type it a few times until it worked, but now it's working. Yeah.
Okay. I'm hoping it's not going to get overloaded because we've got another in-person one being done at the same time right now. One of my colleagues.
If people in here, if you're like having problems getting on the link, try putting www. Then sfa.edu/wellness-assessment. Try that, and that might help you as well.
Ooh, thanks for that feedback. Anybody still need that on the screen?
For everyone that couldn't find it, I found the link and I put it in the chat. So
Oh,
just click on it.
Click on it in the chat. There you go. I'm going to take this screen down real quick. Once you get done, it'll give you something like this. It'll pull up right there automatically. It's also going to send an email with this information to it, to your MySFA email. So you'll have that and you can go back and look at it too. Gabby, did they get sent the orientation booklet?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, not a problem. So it'll give you something like that. So I'm going to wait for a couple more minutes. This will be the result. You can see what the ideal score would be and then what your score is. And then it's going to give you something like this, which is how to develop a little bit of an action plan. So I don't want you to do this part right now. I would like you to think about one thing once you get your results. If you see an area that you'd like to concentrate in, maybe like just one simple thing. I don't want you to get too introspective and deep right now because we're going to share it in your family groups. But so don't get one of them that's really personal and you'd be embarrassed to share. But if there's one that's really simple, like, hey, I'd like to start using a refillable water bottle or whatever it happens to be, one that you can make into a SMART goal. SMART goal is going to be specific. So you can't say I'd like to eat healthier. That's not specific, right? It's got to be measurable. It's got to be attainable and realistic. You want something that you can actually do. Don't say something like, oh, I'm going to be a millionaire by the end of this semester, right? So it's got to be something realistic. And it's got to be time bound. It's a lot easier with that. So an example of a SMART goal would be, I'll give you one of mine. I will start eating a salad for lunch 4 days a week, starting this today and through this semester, right? And that's going to improve my physical well-being. That's one that I started a long time ago, right? So I do that at least 4 times a week. I bring my lunch and boom, it's really, really easy. So I'm going to go back to stop sharing my screen real quick so I can see all you guys. We've got 110 of you on the call, which is fantastic, but it's hard to keep up with. And so what I'm going to do, raise your hand if you are done with that assessment. If you've already got through it, you've got your results. Ooh, we still got a few people taking that. I don't want to do this too early. You can finish the assessment at any time though. And again, you can retake it. But we covered 7 different dimensions of wellness. We talked about actions you can take in each one of those, right? To potentially help in each one of those areas. What I'd like for you to think about, and what I want you to be able to discuss here in a second, is one thing in one area that you'd like to be able to do this semester, right? Even if you're doing it from home, what's one thing that you'd like to concentrate on being able to do? Because when you share that and you talk about it with a group of people, you're held more accountable for what you're going to do. So I'm going to split you up. And you're going to have a team leader in each one of those that can lead the discussion. We're only going to do that for literally like 5 minutes. So you're going to have people, I mean, when you're talking about what your goal is, you only got to talk for like 10 seconds, right? It's not like you're going on and on about it. But we're going to talk about really quick with that. And then we'll come back to the main room. Does that make sense? Team leaders, you guys good? Jay, you had a question? Everybody good?
Oh, no, I thought you were saying we're going to do it as one, but then you said you're going to split it up.
I'm going to split you guys up here in 3, 2, 1. Bam. Start going to your rooms.
I think so. Ken, are you
I
gonna...
will assign some people. Yep. I will assign. I got some people that are not assigned. Bam. Bam. Some of you guys are now being assigned. You joined in late. I'm just throwing you into different rooms. Ooh, a lot of y'all are not assigned. Did ever? I'm gonna check. This is going to take all day. And there's a bunch of people not assigned. All right.
Yeah. Also, hey guys, for the people who are saying I was in blank group, it may not be exactly what your family groups are for this session, and that's okay. But when we get back on our other call, we'll be sorted into the groups that we have, just so you know. For this discussion, it'll be cool.
Yep. All right. So did everybody get in their groups? Jay, are you in a group?
I have not been assigned a group yet. I was in group 3 though in the other call.
Oh,
if you want to put
well,
me
I'm
there.
just assigning randomly. So
Okay, that's
I was
fine.
going to take, you were in group 3?
Yeah, you can just put me anywhere. It's cool.
Jay, you were in 3. Bam. Everybody should have been in there if they were already done, but I'm just going to take whatever's left here. Boom. There's a bunch of people already in the other group's meeting. I'm just going to take everybody that's left here. All right, the rest of you guys are with me. So, what's one thing that I told you what one of mine was, right? For this semester, I'm gonna do a thing. So what's one in any of the dimensions of wellness that you would want to add or start doing? Anybody, take yourself off mute. Braden, that's a nice fish. You've got the art of like sticking it way out in front so it looks bigger. I appreciate that.
My goal is to meditate every day.
Awesome. For how long?
Hopefully the whole semester.
No, I meant how long you meditate. You got to be specific.
Probably like 10 minutes at least.
Okay. Nice. Good job, Teresa. Who else?
Maybe not drive everywhere.
Maybe
Take
a little more, like take some
bike.
Okay. Cool. By the way, we've got 5 miles of hiking and biking trails here right next to us that we run right across the street from the campus.
Mine is to be more active, like exercising,
How can you be more specific with that, Marshall?
like working out.
How many
going-
times a week?
I want to say 3.
Okay. All right. Cool.
So my goal, I'm already vegan, but I want to start doing just like whole food plant-based. And I think that'd be really good for me.
Okay. Cool. Who else? I'm gonna start calling on you. Jed, which one you're gonna do?
I'm going to try and read my scriptures more often.
Awesome. I like the guitars in the background there. Hannah, what's one you're gonna do?
I want to start using a reusable water bottle more.
Awesome. Boom. It's right there. Get a good one. Spend the money to get a good one and you'll love it and you won't ever let it go. You'll be like, oh, I'm taking this everywhere with me. The little cheap plastic freebies aren't, yeah. Get one that stays cold. Clayton. Clayton may not be with us. I don't know. Isabella.
Can it be something like physical?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. The reason I'm doing online classes is as I'm having hip surgery, so I'm planning on recovering, and that way I'm healthy for the spring.
Awesome. That's a good goal. I just had a complete ankle replacement, so I wish it was bionic, but it's not. So it's requiring me to do rehab all the time. Will, can you communicate from the car there?
Sorry, what'd you say?
I was just asking if you had one area you'd like to do.
What was the question? Someone called me, so I had to join back.
Oh, you're good. You're good. We're just talking about one area of wellness you'd like to, one specific thing you'd like to try and maybe start doing.
I would definitely be more stress-free.
Okay. You're gonna make that a little more, that's everybody shaking their head. Yeah, everybody's want to be stress-free, right? So again, we talked about specific those, so figure out what that's gonna be. like we had, who was it? It was Teresa, I think, said she was going to meditate, you know, every day for this amount of time. So if you're going to try and be stressed, reduce stress, you've got to make it specific. So everybody think about that specific thing that you can do, right? So, so again, I'm going to put us back into the other room, probably as soon as I get, Morgan's going to tell us what she's going to do.
So what I would like to do is, so I love to read, but I usually don't get a lot of time to do that during the school year. So I'm going to try to set aside time on the weekends to read a book.
Okay. Very cool. All right. I'm going to put us back in the main room. I don't know if it's been quite 5 minutes, but. They still got, that still gives us 1 minute while they take time to close. Imberson, is that your name? Is that, did I pronounce that right, Imberson?
It's actually Emily. I don't know why it says that, but it's Emily.
Oh, well, you can go in and change that name if you want to on your thing. You can do it. So what's one you'd like to add?
For the
Yeah, what's something you want to start doing?
Staying on top of schoolwork.
Okay, how are you going to do that?
Probably starting a planner and being more organized.
All right, so start using a planner. So again, to make that a SMART goal, just, hey, I'm going to start using a planner daily, starting this date, right, for the rest of the semester, that kind of thing. So again, good way to do that, just trying to make it a SMART goal so you have some accountability with that. All right, we should be getting everybody back in. Yeah, sorry that breakout room thing. That I took the list that I was given, but obviously we had a lot of people not on that list. So we'll get everybody back in real quick. I think everybody's probably there. So again, and your assessment tool, you'll get something like this. You can see your score. Sorry, I didn't screen share real quick. You'll get something like this that you can see your score and see that, hey, maybe I'm really low in environmental health, or maybe I'm or in sociocultural health. There's some things I could do to improve in those areas, or I'm doing really good in emotional health. I'm going to keep doing it, so I'm going to add this to it. So try and figure out which ones that you need to work on a little bit to be a little more well-rounded. Try and turn everything into a SMART goal of some kind so that you can figure that out, and then try and find some friends that you can be accountable with that. So I want to thank you for your time today. I appreciate you being with us. We're going to be done for this in just a second, unless Jay or one of the other leaders has something to add. I think your next thing you're going to do is you're going to be in your family groups. So one of you guys want to tell what that looks like and what time that is?
Yeah, so to be clear, we're hopping on that call like right now.
Okay.
So that original Zoom code that y'all had is exactly what you'll use to get back on it. Hold on, I'll drop it in the chat real quick, just so y'all, don't lose it. Yeah, you're just gonna go right back to that call.
All right.
Y'all have 10 minutes. Y'all don't have to get on right away. 10 minutes.
Oh, it's 10?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was at 1 o'clock. So yeah, you go.
986-867-8207.
I'll let him share that in the chat in case somebody needs to keep it. Again, thanks for being a part of it. We look forward for you to being a part of Lumberjack Nation and Axum Jacks.
All right, Axum Jacks.
Thank you, Ken.
Thanks, you guys. Yeah, Jay, you might have some that aren't assigned to the family group, it sounds like. So maybe have them just join that call. Everybody should be assigned a family group. You should have been getting that in your email, and the original email that came out with all those Zoom links.